Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second segment of the episode / the second video. We will be reviewing Maul, Shadow Lord, episodes 9 and 10.
Abridged.
We'll get to that. Episodes 9 and 10 for Maul, Shadow Lord are airing on Disney+. The whole show is out. Unfortunately, we are recording this segment for the second time because at the time of recording this, we recorded this yesterday, and without knowing, my phone connected to the car speakers and the audio sounded like shit to the point where it was like pretty much like unsavable. Like we just could not use it. So unfortunately, we do know each other's ratings. We know each other's opinions, all that stuff. So the review will naturally be a little shorter because of that. But we'll try to make it as good as we possibly can. But we don't want to come off as like disingenuous and act like we're recording this for the first time.
Yeah, and it just sound artificial.
Yeah, it's just going to sound fake and artificial because we already know each other's takes. We already know everything. So, like, I mean, but we'll do what we can. We have some topics that we can, like, touch on afterwards if we have any more time to spare because we'll naturally spend less time on this. But, yeah, let's just start. Do you want to start with our pros or cons? After
let's just do the pros really fast.
The pros,
because
okay.
Obviously we're not going to take as much time. We're going to kind of blow through them.
We'll.
So we'll do our ratings on 3, 2, 1, 8 out of 10.
9.5.
9.5. So
Maul, Shadow Lord, 9.5, 8.5. I think.
Here, I'll give my explanation really fast because I feel like I know a lot of people really like this, and people are gonna look at my 8 out of 10 like what. For me, the first 5 episodes of the season were kind of just very mediocre. Like there's nothing that I really dislike going on, but nothing that's happening is like, wow, I love this. I like watching this. All of this. It's like for me, it was kind of just an okay show, and I think it was really the last 3 episodes that really brought this show up for me and made me actually like sit and heavily engaged in what's happening and all of this. So yeah,
I mean, I understand that. I gave it a 9.5 personally because I am just personally biased. I love Maul. Like I said this when we recorded the first time, but like I still don't believe this project is real because I would have wanted it. Like if you had asked me like a year ago what projects I would have wanted Disney to make, this would have been one of them. But
followed by a race car
like,
show.
Oh my God, a Ray show. They wanted to make a Ray movie. So we're not gonna get into Ray right now. That's gonna just kill my mood. But I gave it a 9.5 mostly because I see what you're talking about with the first 5 episodes not being great. I personally thought that the first 5 episodes were like 50-50 in terms of everything involving Maul, Devon, Docky, all that stuff was great. Mm-hmm. But then everything involving Lawson, Two Boots, Riley was very mid.
Yeah, so that's the why Empire coming in.
That's why I think the second half of the season, like the second 5 episodes, where they started to intertwine them both, that's when the show, as a whole, improved. Mm-hmm. So I definitely see what you mean, but I gave it 9.5.
Yeah. So
you want to start with your pros?
Yeah, I'll do a really abridged version. Obviously, what we talked about, the animation and the fight scenes is the perfection of the Clone Wars animation style. Like, I mean, I would love to see it get even better. But like we talked about this,
I think we're nearing the peak. We're
nearing the peak that this style kind of has.
That doesn't mean it's bad though.
That doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
No.
It's still really good.
It's still really good. But obviously the fluidity, especially in Maul's fighting, the details, the markings on their faces, the character designs were amazing across the season, especially in Maul's like little group. Just the animation in general. I mean, I think even when they were in the ships or the car and they were getting chased down,
I think this is probably the second best animation for a show that we've done in the podcast. I think the only one that's better maybe Arcane.
We've only done 2. Oh no, Creature Commandos.
Okay, yeah, we've done a few. This is probably the second best one. But I agree with you. Obviously, like I love Clone Wars style animation in general. I thought the show was just visually beautiful. Cinematography was great. Art was great. I'll give my next one is that I'm very happy that we got a portrayal of Maul that actually shows how smart he is. Because like even in episode 1, he's just running things with a lot of efficiency. And we've seen a lot of times when he pops up in other shows, Clone Wars, Rebels, whatever, even to an extent Phantom Menace, his plans don't really work out a lot. And like
Which I think is a little weird considering he's trained by the most cunning person.
Like even though it does fit his character, he's always meant to fail pretty much.
Yeah.
He should not fail that easily. So I'm very happy that we at least end the show with him pretty much having accomplished his goal of getting Devon at least, even if it costed him a lot. But I'm just very happy we got a portrayal of Maul that actually shows him more so as a character that's competent, because I think that was kind of needed.
Yeah, definitely. For me, oh yeah, obviously this is the voice acting. I think all the way across. We talked about this. Obviously, what's his name?
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer, obviously, since 2011.
Witwer.
Sorry. Yeah. Since 2011, he's been doing a phenomenal job. We talked about this. They literally have his scream ingrained into his lightsaber.
Yeah, like when he's swinging. Which I think is such an underrated aspect, especially when you tie into the fact of how the kyber crystal is supposed to reflect you and like your state and everything. I think that's amazing. Obviously, just across the board, the Lawsons. I think the accent on Captain Lawson was nice. I thought Riley's voice was fitting. Devon really liked. Yeah, Devon was great.
Even
Devon in the last 2 to 3 episodes is amazing.
Yeah, really good. What was the pink girl?
Devon?
Not Devon. The other one, the pink Mandalorian.
Oh, Rook.
Rook. Her voice was really good. Even Vario, like we talked about this. Like you look at Lil Vario, it's like, bro, you could not imagine another voice on that little body.
But what about Spybot?
Spybot he was the next on the list, bro. Spybot is the best character in this show.
Okay.
Hey, bro, best droid cast we've gotten since the original trilogy. Trust.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, I'm lying, but like still.
Wow.
I'm lying, but still.
Okay. Well, I'll get my next one. Off the jump, the dynamic between Maul and Devon / Talon is really fucking good. Maul can be very manipulative and persuasive, that he makes the dark side seem like an inevitability for her.
Do you want to give a little tiny explanation on why you call her Talon to the people listening?
Yeah, okay. For anyone who doesn't know, Darth Talon pretty much started off as Star Wars EU, which is like before Disney bought Star Wars EU was the expanded universe. So it was pretty much like the pseudo canon stuff that was like, it's not canon until we say it's canon kind of thing. And Darth Talon was pretty much like a character in that world who was like this Sith apprentice for this guy called Darth Krayt, and was like pretty much would do anything for that guy. And like she had a whole like romance / fling / like kind of like manipulation thing with Cade Skywalker, who was like a drug addict and all that stuff. It was very weird. But originally, George Lucas's plans for his sequel trilogy, when he handed it over to Disney, was that he wanted Maul to be the big bad of the sequel trilogy and his apprentice to be Darth Talon, which is why we see Devon in this show. She's of the same race. Obviously, she doesn't start off as like the same way Talon started off, in terms of like Talon was never a Jedi Padawan or anything like that. But this is their way of trying to bring her into canon, and it's very, anyone who knows anything about Star Wars knows that this is probably where she's going to end up. She's probably going to end up being some sort of version of the canon Darth Talon. Yeah. But I just thought their dynamic was really good. Maul, the way he manipulates her and like persuades her, makes the dark side seem almost like an inevitability for her, with the way that like she's reacting to the stuff going on around her. And she's obviously in the perfect space to allow herself to be manipulated from the start. You know, when we see her stealing the food and arguing with Master Daki about the Jedi principles and stuff like that. She's in she's in a place where she can be manipulated, and obviously the stuff that happens later in the show with Daki dying and stuff just pushes her further down the rabbit hole for Maul to be able to take that role. Yeah.
So I want to talk about we talked about the musical scores before.
Yeah.
It's a trademark of the Star Wars series at this point. It's just their like musical scores, especially on big entrances, like Maul's entrance in the first episode, or the one they had when Vader showed up. They just hit, and that's been a thing since the fucking. Sorry for the pause. That's been a thing for a long time, since the original trilogy, since the prequels.
I mean, baby.
So, we're in a car right now, so if we're kind of
someone just drove past our car, riding a bike, trailing a carriage for a baby.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, obviously, that's actually, like, one of the only redeemable parts about the sequels is that they still have the good musical scores.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And obviously in the show it continues. And I will say that Maul one, when he first walked in, was, like, one of the only things, like, that I genuinely liked about the first half of this season.
Yeah, that's fair. But, I agree, yeah. Star Wars scores are always great. They're always able to capture their characters' like essence within their scores. Or something.
And the only one I've ever the only thing I've ever like engaged with that I feel is even on that level is From Software games. Like those are the only musical scores that ever get up there.
What are those games?
Or Soulsborne games in general.
Oh, okay. Right,
or Soulsborne or Soul-like. So like if you look at Expedition 33, that one game of the year, one game like a big part was their musical scores.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I'll get my next one. And that's that. This is like one of the bigger ones. I'll try to keep it as short as I can. But this show really understands Maul's character, and it makes sense that the show is good at showing who he is and how he feels about his past, because Sam Witwer is obviously very heavily involved in Star Wars lore and Star Wars just like knowledge in general, specifically about Darth Maul. He knows that character inside and out. Dave Filoni and him, they never fail or fumble when it comes to Maul. They've done certain stuff where I'm like, I wish they would have handled this a little bit differently, but it's really just nitpicking. They really do really well with that character. And like in the movies, he was a cool looking side villain at best, but every time he's popped up in animation, his character's just been more and more fleshed out just beautifully. And this show takes it to a whole other level. Like I'll talk about it more in depth later. Or should I just talk about the episode 8 stuff now?
You just do it really fast.
Yeah, okay. The episode 8 in general, where we see him, like the flashback scenes, where we see all the ways Sidious ruined his life, was really good. And one line that will pretty much stick with me forever when it comes to his character is he's looking at his younger self talking about Sidious. And at first he's like, I hate you, get away from me. Mm-hmm. And then when his younger self is still there, he looks at him and he goes, I won't let him do this to anyone else, talking about Sidious. And we see him crying for the first time ever. And like,
let me add one other thing. Or like in that scene when you see him like sifting through the dust and the last thing he sees is Sidious's face after his brother dies. So it's like, it kind of like is like their way of symbolizing like that is only thing that he can think of, or like can really drives it, how much it drives him.
Yeah. It's like, I thought like all the flashback scenes we got were really good. And my favorite part about the whole sequence was that he wasn't immediately furious when he saw the memory of Obi-Wan cutting him in half. And the reason why I say that is because I've always interpreted his relationship with Obi-Wan as him not actually hating Obi-Wan as much as he says he does. Even though, obviously, he does hate him. It felt like deep down he always despised Sidious the most, but that he could just never get to him. So he settled on trying to get all his frustration and revenge out on Kenobi. And even though he obviously hated Kenobi, the real enemy was always Sidious. And like, that's why I think Maul's death scene in Rebels is perfect, because it understands that. And like, even when like he's dying in Obi-Wan's arms, asking if Luke is the chosen one, because if Luke is the chosen one, he will finally defeat Sidious. So he says he will avenge us. And that's why I think that scene is really good. And this show also understands that. At least it seems it does. Because, you know, it's not the memory of Obi-Wan isn't what gets him to lose his mind. Mm-hmm. Or even the memory of seeing his brother get killed or him being taken away from his mom. None of that is what really makes him lose his mind. What makes him lose his mind is when he sees his younger self and he pictures Sidious doing that to someone else. Mm-hmm. So it puts his actions of like trying to take on multiple apprentices that we've seen, like he's tried with Ahsoka, he's trying with Devon, he's tried with Ezra and Rebels. Like, it puts his actions, like those kind of actions, in so much more perspective, because you realize that, like, in his own twisted way, he thinks he's saving them from Sidious.
Yeah. And you could tell he genuinely believes that, which is why he gives her so many second chances compared to as he wouldn't for basically anyone else.
Yeah, like he's very patient with Devon here.
Yeah, with literally anyone else. And I think it is because he sees himself in Devon. I think he saw it in the first meeting.
Yeah.
So it's just really good. I mean, I love that all the way across. I mean, I've kind of knocked off all my main talking points for the pros. So do you want to move to the cons?
I still have a few bigger ones.
Just list them real quick.
Yeah, I'll just do them real quick. First off, just talking about Devon specifically, he's a great fucking character. And, like, going into the show, I was obviously iffy about how they would handle this character because, in essence, it is the canon version of Darth Talon. Because, you know, they decided to go a different route to introduce her that doesn't follow Talon's actual origin. But I was immediately hooked by her, and by the end of the show, she was my favorite character. I have another talking point about the lightsaber action. I thought it was really good. The Vader stuff was amazing in the finale in terms of action. Devon's Master Daki, is a great example of why Jedi, under the right circumstances, can be manipulated to fall into the dark side. Because there are many times within this season that he makes questionable decisions and actions, like going to the Lawsons and drawing attention to them immediately. He was being very self-centered when he was told by Devon that Riley was captured by stormtroopers, and he assumed that they must be only out for him and Devon, as if he didn't also make Lawson and Riley fugitives. Where was I? And also just being very condescending in dialogue towards Devon, especially when talking to her about Maul. And he's just a prime example of why even a capable Jedi Knight...
awesome, because you could tell he genuinely, like, sees himself as, like, higher than Lawson, but not in some, like, stronger way, but, like, he sees himself as the protector of... Or not, like, a protector, but he sees himself as higher because of his position as a Jedi.
Yeah, he definitely does. But that's the thing, when he's talking to her about Maul to Devon, and, like, he's a good example of why even a capable Jedi Knight who's a good Jedi on paper can be a part of the problem in pushing the younger generation towards the dark side. Because as the audience, you're not really meant to like him that much. He's there to help you further understand why Devon would fall to the dark side, even though it's clear that what he believes he's doing is right. And, like, from an objective stance, he probably is in the right.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not what Devon needed at that moment, and that's why she was susceptible to falling to the dark side, to going under Maul's wing.
Which is parallels of what we see in the prequels.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to add really fast, because I realized we never even talked about this before, but, like, for how often me and Nico will review something, and we will talk about, especially with shows, but sometimes with movies as well, how bad the pacing is, whether it's too slow or too fast.
Yeah. This pacing was really good,
The show pretty much had, like, that perfect little middle ground, whereas, like, even though I didn't like the first 5 episodes that much, I could say that they set up the rest of the season very well, and that's why the last 5 really hit you, because it's just like, it's like you're watching and it's like, it's not like you're being bombarded with shit like in Daredevil Born Again season 2, but it's not like nothing's happening like the first hour of Project Hail Mary.
yeah, that's true. I only have 2 more left. The end of episode 9, where we see Vader for the first time, was beautiful. And it was the perfect way to do it and to introduce him into the show because of how intimidating they made him with the scene where he kills Rook. Rook cast was very well done. Like, that scream, like, we talked about this the last time we recorded. That scream where she's being pulled away was, like, probably the best piece of voice acting in the whole show. Yeah. And, like, I really like how they made him, like, Michael Myers with, like, the jump scares and, like, the horror aspects of it. And
because at this point he's still, like, kind of an unknown, because this is what, like,
this
is only so many years after the Clone Wars, like, what,
this is, like, I think it's only a year after season 7.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very early Empire days. Yeah. Very early Empire
So it's like,
days.
at this point, this is still this unknown, because obviously no one knows how many Jedis are left, and obviously even if Anakin was a known name, no one knows if he's still alive. So you're seeing this dude who is just ultra powerful, especially for Force users like Maul, like Daki, like Devon. They can feel it.
Yeah, they can feel it. Yeah. But I also thought it was really a good way to introduce him because of the character work that they did with Maul before that enhanced their meeting and made it mean so much more, because of the fact that, like, a bit before that, that's when you had all the flashback scenes with him in episode 8, where he's reflecting on Sidious and about Sidious and how Sidious ruined his life and all this stuff. And then you see him fight the Inquisitors, and he tries to reach the Inquisitors through talking to them by saying, you realize Sidious doesn't care about you, you're just another one of his pawns, and then he fights Vader, and it sets up a really good parallel where it's like, these are pretty much the only 2 people in the whole galaxy who knows what it's like to be that close and personal to Sidious, and, like, knows what it's like to be trained and mentored by the most evil person in the entire galaxy. But which, I I personally at the time wanted them to have some sort of dialogue about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later.
But I could definitely see that being a season 2 thing because I don't see how they don't bring Vader back in season 2.
I don't know if they'll bring him back for season 2. I'll say this though, I would be shocked if we don't get some sort of confirmation that Maul hasn't figured out who Vader was by the time we get to season 2.
Like, especially considering he knows who Anakin is.
Yeah, he knows that Palpatine was grooming Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'll talk about that moment when we get to our cons because that's one of my cons. But like, that would I definitely want him to make that connection and to give some sort of dialogue about it.
Which we'll talk about that more after because we do have. Some
I only have one more left, and that being, it's kind of. But like, overall, I thought the finale was really good. Mm-hmm. Captain Lawson and Master Doki's death were handled pretty well and had some good emotions behind them. And I thought it was a good way to set up Devon becoming Darth Talon / falling to the dark side. And I thought it set up a good plot point in next season between Devon and Maul in terms of that we know eventually she'll find out that Maul somehow she'll find out that Maul basically turned his back to Doki and allowed him to die to Vader. Mm-hmm. So that's a good plot point for her in season 2.
And we'll move to our cons really fast, which obviously neither of us have a lot. Like
I only have 3.
Like I said before, even though I gave the show an 8 out of 10, I can't say that there wasn't that much that was objectively bad with it. Yeah. But here is probably my biggest one, is the 2 Inquisitors that we see. Because even though Vader is the kind of big bad at the end, the Inquisitors are the main antagonists of a majority of the season. And practically nothing is done with them. I think in general they have 2 lines. Like, and even though their designs are cool, like, nothing is done with them. Especially with, I think Merrick was the all-black one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. He was the one with the like, skull mask thing.
Oh, that was... Okay, then I'm talking about the other one. The one that was there first. I don't know if he was ever given a name, but
Merrick, yeah.
No, the
I'm not talking about one with the eyes.
Oh,
the one with the eyes is not Merrick.
Yeah, the one that was in all black, whatever, Merrick. Like, we see, like, they kind of have, like, his body language, and they have certain actions that he does that are kind of, like, hinting at, like, a deeper passion from him with Maul, but we kind of know nothing. Like, there's this scene where we see him crouched on a rooftop looking over the city on some, like, Batman shit, like, while they're searching for Maul, and you're, like, sitting there like, ooh, shit. Like, at least me, I'm sitting there, I'm like, ooh, shit, there's something more than we've been told here. And then just nothing was told, and he got force pushed off an edge, and we never see him again. Like, he just got killed like a bitch. And the guy with the guy with the skull mask, like, he showed up, and he had, like, a cool scene when he popped in, and they were all fighting together, but he never, like, he either doesn't have a line or has a singular line, and nothing's done with him. He also just gets killed in the finale, and then it's like, yeah, well, okay, he's gone now.
Is he killed in the finale?
Doesn't Devon kill him? Devon kills him.
Does he?
I swear Devon kills him.
I don't know. Because he dies to Ahsoka.
Oh, then maybe not.
Yeah. Ahsoka kills him, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think what it was is like they fell to the floor. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'll give my first con. And this is something that really did disappoint me because even at like the first half of the season, which is where this con comes from, I wanted to try my best to like him. But Lawson is just mid for the amount of screen time that he gets. He's not a very compelling character. The performance that his voice actor gives isn't exactly world-breaking. Not to say that it's terrible or anything, but
I thought it was decent.
But a lot of the time he ends up just taking away screen time from the actual stuff we want to see, like Maul, like Devon, like Doki, like any of that stuff. His backstory and the stuff with Riley's mom, who's a part of the Empire, is also just kind of thrown in there. I'm hoping they'll do more with that in season 2 to make it better, but in this season, there's not really much done with that. So yeah, it is disappointing because I wanted to like him, and I do think in the second half of the season he is way better. But in the first half, it's more so just like, okay, you have so much good stuff going on between Devon and Maul and stuff like that. It's like, then you take it away from that by, Lawson not going to his son's Bodkin game, and it's like,
he's there and then he leaves halfway.
It's like, yeah, like I know you need a B plot, you need a side plot, but like, can we at least make it a little more compelling?
Like, yeah, I think there was more that could have been done with Lawson, and I'm hoping in flashback scenes and obviously scenes with Riley, who I actually really liked Riley in this season.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for him in season 2, and I do want to talk about that when we get to that in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But with Lawson, it's like he's kind of there, and it's like they're kind of like they're on the cusp of so many good things with him, like how he's a police captain, but they're hinting at him having like darker origins, a meeting with the girl who runs the casino, who used to be a bounty hunter, and all of that, like his shadier companions, I think Two Boots says, and all of that. Like, I think Two Boots was a more interesting character than Lawson this season. I think Riley was a more interesting character. I think most of the main cast, like, and it was just kind of disappointing for me. I'm gonna move to my like last like major one, and it is my probably biggest nitpick of all nitpicks, and it's that this motherfucker Maul needs legs that aren't gonna get broken every 30 seconds.
Yeah, true.
Okay, on a real note though, he gets his leg kicked and has to get it repaired by Doc, or he gets his leg kicked by Doc, he has to get it repaired. When he's fighting the Inquisitors, they hit his hip, then he stops moving, then he can't move that well anymore. He fixes that, and then he gets his leg injured again when fighting Vader. It's like, brother, listen, I'm not saying cut his arm off, but give him a concussion or something. Like, just not his legs next time.
Yeah, true. I do think he'll probably do something about that in season 2.
I hope so.
Because I'm gonna be honest, this is like, even he's had pretty much like artificial legs or like robotic legs for like a lot of the time that we've seen him on screen. Everything
all of it.
Everything other than Phantom Menace, he's had that. And this is like the most his shit has like malfunctioned.
Yeah.
So I think it's setting it up for like, he's obviously at the beginning, like even in Clone Wars, they did not really do this.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I think they're probably setting it up for him to get an upgrade. But, I'll give my next one. And like, episode 5 as a whole was kind of just a dud / filler. The story doesn't really progress all that much. And just in general, nothing really happens. Like, we got our first look at an Inquisitor, which is cool. But other than that, most of the episode did feel non-essential, because that was the most amount of time we spent like away from like the main plot. Like, we spent a lot of time in like the police station, because I think that was the episode where like the Empire comes. The Empire comes, and like there's a lot of like, you know, inner political turmoil within the police station about like, oh, we don't want the Empire to be here, and like I'm pretty sure Maul in that episode gets like 0 screen time. So it's like, to me, if it did feel a little bit like we need a, it felt a little dragged on a little bit.
I think that's the episode where Ducky escapes from Maul. Maybe,
but
I
don't even think so.
Yeah,
but
that's the last time we were calling, so we don't want to drag this out too long. Again, sorry for anyone that's listening. That's like, wow, you guys
talk about this one.
Which one?
The unanswered questions one.
No, we'll talk about that in the next part we're gonna do.
Sure.
So obviously, sorry for anyone that's listening. That's like, wow, this was just a bunch of shit thrown in my ears all at once. Like, we didn't want to kind of create this like disingenuous scenario where you're listening and we're like trying to pretend like, oh wow, to each other when we're giving our points. So what we're instead gonna do is we're gonna move and we're gonna talk about what we want for season 2 of Maul, obviously, and that's gonna relate to some of our unanswered questions from season 1, and maybe just personal fan theories about character arcs that we think should be delivered. So
I want to start with this because my last comment that I had written down here has to do with season 2, and that's that I wrote that the only real negative I had with the finale was that it did leave me with unanswered questions, which obviously they're setting up season 2 with how the episode ended. But before the season came out, we were told that we were going to learn why Maul protected Sidious and never outed him as, you know, Palpatine is Sidious, because, you know, I said this the first time we recorded, he is capable of forming working relationships with Jedi, right? Like, he's not falling in love with any of them. He's not doing anything crazy, but like, he's capable of having working relationships with them. And so it does surprise me that he never once, you know, picked up a phone and called the Jedi Temple and was like, hey, by the way, Palpatine is Sidious. Like, the guy who's like constantly imposing himself on your like Jedi like matters is also Darth Sidious, by the way. Like, we were told we were gonna find out why he's never done that. We didn't learn that in this season, and like you know, so maybe that is something that we will save for season 2, because I do want to get the answer to that. And another thing is that even though I understood it in the moment, because it's not easy to make the connection between Vader and Anakin, I found myself disappointed that Maul didn't realize who Vader was and what he was, because I thought for sure they were setting it up for, him and Vader to have a conversation about Sidious with all the character work they did with Maul before, leading up to that. Because he tried that with the Inquisitors. On top of the fact that he knew Palpatine was grooming Anakin to be his apprentice. So even though it was understandable they didn't make the connection automatically, because they're obviously not the same thing, like, looking at them. But I was left disappointed that he didn't realize, even though I think maybe by the end of the season he might have maybe put 2 and 2 together. And I hope that in season 2 we get confirmation that he did put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
But I was a little disappointed that we didn't get some dialogue there.
I think when he started running away from Vader at the very end, I think that might have been... but that is obviously just a guess. That's just fan theory. That's all of that until we get it confirmed.
But I do hope some of those things, like, I do hope we get some sort of confirmation that he put 2 and 2 together in season 2. I do hope that we get an answer for that question of why has he protected Sidious all this time in season 2.
I'll give mine because I know you're gonna have a lot to talk about Devon, but one character I want to talk about specifically is Riley, because there is a very interesting dynamic there where
between Riley and Devon.
Between Riley and Devon. I think what I honestly would like to see is Devon getting turned into some like Mando bodyguard, like how Maul had with Rook and all of that, or going to the Empire, meeting with his mom, and becoming some sort of inside agent in the Empire.
Inside. Oh,
I think either of those could be very.
You don't think that's a plotline more for Riley though?
No, that for Riley. That's
okay.
For Riley, yeah. And having like this stuff.
I think if anything, he would be the inside agent for the Empire.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be the next Rook.
Well, because here's my thing: is not for Maul, it would be for Devon.
Well, even then, for Devon, I don't think he'd be that.
But because we see him, and obviously we see him be shockingly skilled with a gun from the second he picks it up, and all of that. So, and obviously watching his father get killed by the Empire, and all of this, I really, really want to see him have some sort of screaming match with his mom, or like him berating his mom.
True.
Or something like that.
I would like to see that.
I would really like to see
There's a lot of good things they could do with him in season 2.
I want to know what his mom's position actually is. All we know is that she works for the Empire. Is she just a regular old fucking desk agent on the Death Star? Obviously, there's no Death Star right now, but like...
Yeah. I think it's in construction at this point, but it's not complete.
Yeah. But like... I want something like there's no way they introduce a character and not have something special be done with her, and not have Riley really lose his shit on her. And I really hope that with Riley and Devon we do see a romantic relationship, because it is hinted at.
Very subtly.
Very subtly, like when they're in his room and he's like very nervously cleaning up, and he sits down. You see him like kind of shrink down a little, like all of that. I would like to see something like that, which is obviously something Maul is going to play on. I hope. I really hope.
I'll ask you this. Okay, first, I have 2 questions.
Obviously, Sith and romance is something that they've not really done, to my knowledge. Other than the loss of romance
in canon, no.
Other than like the loss of romance and like Anakin and Starkiller and stuff like that.
Yeah, Anakin, no. Or in canon, no. I don't think they've.
Yeah.
They haven't really done like an established Sith with a love interest. Not really. Yeah. I'll say this. I have 2 questions for you. Number 1. How big of a time jump, if any, do you think we'll get between seasons? Because that's very important, because if we want Riley to be... I would like for Riley to be kind of that Rook cast role for Devon specifically. But if you're not going to do a time jump, you can't have him be that.
Okay. One, it's going to have to be at least a few months. Like, they shouldn't be right at one consecutive. Like, it should be one
I agree with that. I'd go upwards of even like a year.
I don't think a year, because I think they're gonna play into that plot line of the Red Hand, of Maul helping that dude become the leader of the Red Hand.
The Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn. That's what it was. Crimson Dawn. Yeah.
Even then, I still think because that will only take you like 3 to 4 scenes max. So I think you could easily do that and just work backwards to the flashback scenes to get that.
Yeah. I think 6 months would be my preferred time gap. That way we can see a change in Devon, but see that she's still holding on to the teachings of Daki and the Jedi Order and Maul, but like she's very much she's gonna be a red leaning, like compared to just a gray Jedi, is what I hope.
No, they will not do gray. I promise you, they won't do a gray Jedi.
Yeah, but I hope we don't just get her like full Sith out. Just
I think by the end of season 2, I would want her to be full Sith out.
But like I'm talking about like at the start after the time jump, I would like to see a much more serious case from Riley, and depending if they have the screen time, which is kind of one of the biggest things that we have to worry
They
about.
definitely have the screen time for Riley.
No, I'm saying about actually going into his, like, losing his dad and his dynamic with his mom because of it. I
think so.
I hope they do it and all of that. I would like to see Two Boots, who's obviously still there, kind of like become his, like, Alfred, I guess.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I think there's a lot of untapped potential with Riley.
We've seen Two Boots. I mean, Two Boots obviously just lost who's his best friend, and we've seen him go against this programming already in season 1, which I think he had the second best development behind Devon in season 1.
Who, Two Boots?
Two Boots, yes.
I'd agree with that.
So I'm hoping that we see him go even farther to where he's just... I'm hoping that we all see them become Darksiders to an extent in the Maul's twisted version of it. Or, well, twisted compared to the normal. Yeah.
Maybe. I do think
And you said 2 questions?
Yeah. Fuck, I forgot the other... okay. Do you think that Maul will be for or against this hypothetical romance between Riley and Devon? Because the reason why I asked that is because a big thing for Palpatine, at least, when he was grooming Anakin was, I need Padme out of the picture because Padme is still a pull to the light for him, right? Would Maul be of the same thinking of, I need Riley out of the picture because Riley could still be a pull to the light for Devon? Or is it a thing of like, oh, if you want to protect your boyfriend Riley, you need to be accepting of this training I'm going to give you?
I think it's kind of the second one, but also added on to that, because what I want for Riley is I want him to be not some light, like, because Padme was always going to be on the light side. I don't want Riley to be that. I want him to turn into this, like, I'm not even going to say mercenary bounty hunter, but I want him to turn into this darker figure compared to Padme. So it's not something that, because obviously in the prequels, Palpatine had to kill Padme because that was the string that Anakin was hanging on to.
Yeah.
In this, it's not, like, Devon is very much already off. Like, watching Daki die is already off.
True.
And Riley obviously just watched his dad get killed right in front of him. So I'm hoping that they go off together and that Maul really plays into... I'm hoping that I'm hoping Riley gets actually trained by something. That's why I said I kind of want like a Mandalorian or something like that, like a Mando to come in there, because they're like.
But all of his Mandos are dead.
Well, yeah, but he's the king of the Mando world. They say that.
Mandalore, yeah.
Mandalore, yeah.
He is still the ruler of Mandalore by law, I think. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but then again, there would have to be some sort of incentive for Maul to do that.
And that would be Devon. He's trying to train. I think he's trying to train Riley so that Devon's not as easy to kill. But he also plays into that with Devon, where it's like he's getting stronger, but so do you. You need to as well.
I guess
because it really is a thing of we've seen who's out there. Having obviously they've both fought Vader, so
I just don't know. Like,
I think it's an interesting dynamic that could be played into.
I think the biggest question that, like, we'll have to wait and see to get answered is, how will Maul handle both Two Boots and Riley within his plans? Because will it be a thing of, like, because we see them go off in the ship together. What happens after that? Because he has no immediate use for them.
For me, the thing is, it depends. I think Two Boots is the pivotal character there, funny enough, because it depends the direction they go with him. Is he going to go even farther off of his programming and go farther against the codes, the laws, and all of this?
And help Maul?
Or is he going to stay to the morally correct Captain Lawson way of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of
dynamics that could be done there. It could be a thing of... I personally think I would like to see them all kind of turn into one group. But, I mean, I could see why someone would look at it and say, like, Two Boots is pulling Riley one way, and Maul's trying to pull him the other way for the sake of Devon.
I could see it, though, that, like, he tries to say, like, I can easily manipulate Riley into becoming an asset for me because his mom is part of the Empire.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that. I also see from the fact of, like, but, like, on the other side, I could also see him being, like, I want Devon to have no distractions. I need her to be focused. I need to get Riley out. I need to get Two Boots out.
Yeah. But I do think a Sith with a love interest, obviously, that's kind of like one of my personal things with Star Wars on why I haven't really engaged with a lot of Star Wars content in a long time, other than the Cal Kestis games, is that there's a lot of repetition in kind of the storylines.
Yeah.
Like the kind of like gray leaning, but not all the way gray Jedis, or Jedis that are turning to the dark side. It obviously gets done in almost every project. or have the dark side pulling at them, which obviously that's just an aspect of the Force. That's an aspect that's going to happen when the Strobos happen. But, like, seeing new character arcs, like a Sith with a love interest who is, and is playing into the manipulation of Maul, or the love interest is, like, they become, like, an actual duo together. Something like that.
Maybe.
I really want to see just new stuff done. Because there's lot of opportunity for new dynamics that can be created and be really interesting.
The problem with a Sith love interest is that, like, okay, I wouldn't be opposed for Devon and Riley to get together at some point at all. Mm-hmm. I do think there's a lot of potential in that dynamic and that relationship, whatever, right? The problem with a Sith love interest, and specifically someone who is, like, completely rooted in the dark side, like, completely in there, the problem with them having a love interest is that the act of having a significant other almost directly contradicts the state of mind that the dark side requires you to be in. Mm-hmm. Because love, affection, care, happiness, all of that goes against the dark side. Mm-hmm. So unless it would have to be more of like a, like, I hate this because this is gonna sound freaky as fuck. Unless if it was like some sort of like weird BDSM shit where it's like a master slave thing, I don't really see how you could do it and have it make sense within the thematic cores of Star Wars.
See, you obviously are more into Star Wars than me, but the way I always interpreted it, especially from the Jedi perspective, and that's why they were so against Anakin and Padme, is because the intense emotion that is arised from caring for someone in love plays into the flarings of the dark side, which obviously yes. I do understand what you're saying with the happiness and all of that, but the Jedi way is tranquility. It's not leaning too much into your emotions. It's being control over them, which is why we see, I mean, I'll talk about it now. In Jedi Survivor, when Merrin gets hurt, that's the scene where you're able to access the dark side.
True.
So in my interpretation of it, which obviously you know more than me, but in my interpretation of it, the intense emotion that is there, where she's already lost her master, presumably most of her friends from when she was a fucking Padawan. She's been living as a hobo, and now she's working with someone who she doesn't trust at all, and she's only working with him out of her own convenience and emotion. I think having someone there, I think that one person there who she can trust to lean on a little bit, because they obviously did talk and there was a dynamic forming there,
right.
And she knows of him, of his character, and it's going to be they both lost their paternal figure.
Right. I do see what you mean with the, like, those emotions flare up, like the intensity of those emotions flare up dark side tendencies. The thing with that is that the way I see it, at least, is that that's more of like a temporary thing, like an in the moment thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing is that a healthy relationship cannot have you be completely rooted in the dark side.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that like it would have to be like an ultra possessive toxic thing for it to like work thematically, because of the thing of like say Riley and Devon get together season 2, right? Riley and Devon, like, say, okay, Devon, they get together, Devon goes, trains with Maul, has tough training session with him, he makes her tap into a bunch of like really tough emotional states, all that stuff. Then she goes off with Riley, goes on a date with Riley, let's say. And they're having the most fun because their dynamic is really good and they're laughing and they're joking and they're and all that stuff. It makes it for, like, at least, especially from Maul's perspective, it's like, you will never be fully rooted in the dark side the way I need you to be if you still have this source of good in your life.
Here's my way of thinking. I do agree with you of that toxic possessive thing. And I think that's where the Maul manipulation comes in, where Maul is going to be like, he's too weak. He obviously, as strong as Riley.
You think Maul will encourage her to make him like her plaything kind of thing?
Not even her plaything, to make her like realize, like, I think, or I don't know if I think this is going to happen, but this is what the direction I would really like to see them go with it, is Maul playing into, I know that there's an affection there, and I know that I can't take this away from this girl, because obviously that'd be the same thing that Sidious did of taking him away from his brother and all of that, even if it's a different dynamic and all of that. But I need to play into it. I need to make her realize how fragile he is. Even if a character like Han Solo, even if he can go out there and kick ass, he's still fragile compared to fucking Darth Vader.
Right.
Like, I need to make her realize how fragile she is, and that creates this toxicity in her and all of that, and that plays into the dark side, that plays into her possessiveness over him, even though he can take care of himself, as we've seen, for the most part.
If that were to happen, I would be really okay with it. I would be for it if that happened. Because what I don't want though is for like I don't want to see the wholesome, affectionate stuff. Like, because then it won't work.
No, then it won't work thematically unless they make her like not a full Sith and make her an in between kind of thing. Like, which they're obviously, we know they're not gonna do. We don't know they're not.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, she's probably never gonna be a full-on Sith Lord.
Yeah, she will never be a Sith Lord.
But she will more than likely be a full-on Darksider.
Yeah, she will be a Darksider.
Because a Sith Lord is just a title. The dark side is where you stand within the Force.
But here's my thing: when you go into that, Marin, is she not a Darksider technically?
Yeah, but she's not a Sith. She's a Darksider because she used dark side magic. But that's not.
But it's still part of the Force. It's still the dark side of the Force, and she has
Sith,
her love interest.
Here's the thing with the Sith. The Sith is a race. The Sith is not like you reach a certain level of the dark side, you become a Sith. Or you reach a certain level of the light side, you become a Jedi.
It's an interpretation of the teaching. Well, it's a usage of the teachings.
Yeah, but it's not like the Sith are just the people, or like a group of people who serve the dark side, or who make the dark side serve them. Right? The Jedi are just a group of people who make who serve the light. Yeah. You could still be a very, very powerful light sider without being a Jedi. Yeah. You could still be a very, very, very powerful dark sider without being a Sith. So I don't think they're gonna make Devon a Sith because Maul isn't even a Sith anymore at this point. Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna make them I do think they will make her a very, very powerful darksider,
which I would like to see.
I will see this for the future regarding Devon's character, regardless of what they do with her when it comes to Riley and how her relationship with Maul will inevitably break down. I do want to see her outlive him, and I do want to see her involved in like kind of like the Mandoverse that they got going on right now with Mando, Grogu, Ahsoka, all that stuff. Because I do want to see her. I would prefer her to stay animated, but I want to see her in live action for the sake of having her character continue. Yeah. So I do want to see her go on to like outlive Maul and kind of be like maybe go be with Ahsoka in the other.
I have a disagreement.
Galaxy stuff like that.
I think I disagree with that take.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. Why? I think in the terms of Maul's character, I think it makes perfect sense for an interaction between Palpatine and Devon to kill Devon. For Devon to die against Palpatine and Maul to see it. I think in the terms of Maul's character, I think that makes perfect sense, and I think that would be a good way to end that, because I don't know if they'll ever bring Devon to live action.
I think that would make sense for Maul's character. The thing is though is that within the context of the Star Wars universe, number one, Palpatine is not doing his dirty work ever. Yeah. Like Palpatine, if anything, it'll be Vader. Palpatine is not going to go out to seek Maul out just to kill his pseudo apprentice. Well, yeah, but that will not happen.
But that's where I would say, like, oh, Riley, Mom, and the Empire, they managed to get in there somehow. Like some plot line if they get to him, even if it is a unrealistic thing.
It would not. It would be very bad for like Star Wars canon if that were to happen. Yeah. It would not work out that way. I do think she should outlive him, and I do think that. Maybe it'll start with the plot point of her realizing that he left Master Daki to die, where that will inevitably, whether it's this season or like season 2 or like in the future somehow, she ends up breaking off away from Maul and goes off to do her own thing. I would still prefer her to be in the dark side, just away from Maul.
How would you feel if Vader tells her? Would you prefer like a?
If Vader tells her,
would you prefer like a Force echo type thing, or if Vader were to be the one that directly says it?
Well, Force echo, no, because I don't want anyone else other than Cal to have that ability.
Is he the only one shown with that? Really?
I'm in canon, I think so, yeah. But I don't, and like, I don't know why Vader would tell her though.
That I guess would be a thing of he is working for Palpatine, and Palpatine's like, oh, Maul was my old hookup, like.
Yeah, but like I think Vader would just kill her.
Yeah, Vader would
just kill her.
Vader would just kill her. But it's like for her to find out, I feel like that's the only two ways.
Because bro, actually, he didn't say anything to Maul, and Maul almost killed him when he was 9 years old.
Okay, but here's my Okay.
So like, what incentive does he have to say anything to Devon?
Here's my thing. there's 3 people that know what happened there: Vader, Maul, and Lawson. Lawson's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Maul is never going to tell her. Oh, well, he might. He very well might if he thinks it'll drive her farther to the dark side.
Yeah.
So it's either Vader or Force Echo, I think, are the 2 most realistic ones.
Force Echo is not an option.
I wouldn't say it's not an option, but I would prefer it to stay only to Cal.
It's not an option because they like for abilities like that. It's like even in Cal's games, it said that you're like pretty much the only one who's gonna have this. Like,
yeah, they say it's like
it's
extremely
rare.
Extremely rare. Or something.
Yeah.
But
so like it would not. I would not want her to have it, especially because I feel like that would be more of like a light side thing.
Yeah, Force Echoes.
Yeah. So, but I'm really excited to see where they go with her character. I do want her to outlive Maul. I do want to see a continuation of her character because a lot of people are already saying she's the future of Star Wars. So, and I do see where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. I just really hope that under Dave Filoni and with the guidance of someone like Sam Witwer, they could actually make something really good happen with this character and like not fumble her like they've done with a lot of other stuff.
With a lot of other female characters as well, because I really love seeing a really well-written female character, especially one as complex as this, or as complex as like a Jinx, we'll say. Yeah. And compared to what's the terminology used for Rey? It's Mary Sue.
She's a Mary Sue.
A Mary Sue, which is kind of a trap that happens to a lot of leading female characters. Mm-hmm. I really love that they're playing into, this like going down the dark side, and that's why I kind of hope for the relationship dynamic, like the toxicity. I just want them to really try in this character to make her like just a complexity in and of itself.
Yeah.
That way we don't, because a lot of Star Wars characters, we talked about this last time and we didn't really get the chance to cover it this time, is a lot of characters, even though they are complex, do end up falling into a stereotype or a single category.
Like Maul.
Like Maul.
Yeah.
Like a Luke Skywalker in like the Legends canon and all of that, where he is kind of just, or like a Qui-Gon, where he's just the perfect Jedi, or something like that.
Like, I think those are a little different, but I see what you're trying to say.
They're a little different.
I see what you're trying to say.
But it's like, in Star Wars, seeing the complexities of these characters, that's why Anakin is one of the most beloved characters in fiction.
Even though there's a lot of flaws within that story.
And when
I say within that story, I mean acting, directing,
line delivery,
a lot of stuff. But
even though I do like Hayden Christensen, but like
I like Hayden Christensen. I don't like his acting in the prequels. I'm sorry. I know I'm in the minority because a lot of people have done a lot of revisionist history on that trilogy. I still think there is a redeemable part about that trilogy. I don't think Hayden Christensen was the guy. Man.
I think on an individual level, I don't think it's his best performance.
I don't think it's his best performance at all.
No, but wait, where did I leave off at? Yeah, I just really like that we're actually going like digging deep into a character, which normally they don't get to do. Like they kind of only get to do it in the games. In the Starkiller games or in the Cal games. That's the only times they get to really dig into the character's mental state and all of that. So I really like that we're going to see that with Devon, and we're going to see how it like kind of just twists and turns with Maul, with Riley, Two Boots.
Devon has a lot of potential. She has like bags of potential for what they could do with her character. I just really hope they choose the right route, and I really hope that if they do put her in live action, that they don't give her the Ahsoka treatment, where it's like, we're just gonna give you a mid-show that like kind of has you be like a shell of yourself and just slap your name on the title. So where it's like
Kenobi or something like that. But like
or Kenobi where she's the side character of her own show. That would be really bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's inevitable when it comes to Star Wars. They're gonna make her go to live action, man.
Yeah, they're going to,
because they can't resist. Like, especially how much people already love her. You give her another season of Maul, maybe have her pop up in 1 or 2 more projects in like a side role. People are gonna love her way too much. They're gonna want to capitalize.
Because I think that's why I think Dave Filoni came out and said that he's trying to connect everything. That's why he's trying to bring, that's why he made the Ahsoka show, brought Ahsoka to live action. That's why I think they're going to do that here and all of that. Because I think they want to set up another trilogy. I think that's what they're trying to do. But they need everything connected. They need everything connected before they can do that. But yeah, we're kind of running a little close on our time limit right here.
Yeah,
so
we'll probably cut it here. But thank you guys for listening. Again, we apologize for the fact that like we couldn't make the review as in depth as we wanted to because we fucked up our first recording. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, the hype button. I don't even know what that does yet, but if you're on Spotify, follow, download, like, whatever it is. All of our socials will be on our YouTube, on the screen that you're looking at. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week.